Greetings and salutations. We're doing it live here in the Dig Agency. It's your humble correspondent, David Duford. It's a pleasure to be with you a couple of nights before Halloween. And we're doing our open mic Q&A today. Lots to talk about, lots of news, lots of interesting stuff. Changes within the Dig Agency that maybe some of you have been privy to. We're going to officially talk about some of the changes and why we're making them. I'm also going to review some commentary from another very successful insurance agency trainer on her opinion about a sales tactic that I actually feel exactly the opposite about. So, more on that in a little bit. And then, of course, I'm going to answer your questions as it relates to joining the Dig Agency. So, and then any questions, of course. That was that shameless plug that came out of me. All right. Oh, by the way, before we get started, I just want to warn you that getting old sucks. And my birthday is Sunday, November 2nd. I'm turning 41. And everything they say that's bad about it is true. You lose your hair. You get fat. For me, fatter. But the guys around me that I work out with in the gym and go to jiu-jitsu with, they say for males, life is peaking still for them. So I only have good things to look toward to. So let's hope that remains the same. I also want to give special thanks, and this gives me the first time on Dig Agency. I'm going to do a little ASMR. So I got a nice shipment in the mail today. I asked my friend Marcus Kakos, who is Iraqi. He is Chalcedonian. He'll have to correct me here. Christian, Catholic. Interesting. They came here, I think, during the first Gulf War, and he lives up in Detroit. So I said, I need some authentic Middle Eastern cuisine. Of course, Detroit's where it's at. And he sent me this baklava. So check this out. I've eaten like 10 of these already today. Can you see this? This is like the full spread. I mean, even aromatically, as you open the lid on this thing, you can smell the pistachio, you can smell the honey, and there's all these different options here. And I'm going to choose this one. I don't know what it quite is. It's like buttered, covered in honey. And you can see the pistachios, and then it's like this flaky bread. And so when you take a bite into it like this, hold on one second. Go like this. Can you hear that? Like it's crunchy, and then you can feel the honey just drip out. It's delicious, and I've had like 10 of these today, and it's everything I ever could imagine. Let me get one more here. Terrible, terribly delicious. Delicious. So thank you, Marcus, for sending this. I love it. And I'm going to have to find a way not to eat them all before tomorrow. Oh, by the way, let me give a shout out here. This is from Farhat Sweets, Middle Eastern Pastries, farhatsweets.com. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. Whew, man, I'm stuffed. Yeah. We had some amazing baklava when I took my wife on a what did we do? An anniversary trip or something. We went to the Ritz-Carlton in Amelia Island, and there's this restaurant there. It's called what is it called? Anyways, it's the best restaurant I've ever been to, and they served us baklava, and it was amazing. So this is pretty close to that. So thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it. All right. So yes, Greeks. Is baklava Greek or is it Middle Eastern? I always thought it was Greek. That'll be another thing besides Constantinople for them to get into and to debate about. So just leave it there. All right, so let's get started. So first, I have the pleasure to announce some major changes at the Dig Agency. By the way, if you have questions about anything life insurance, you can throw them into the chat. I definitely am going to be getting into them, so you can throw them down there, and I'll be happy to answer them as I go forward and continue in today's wonderful broadcast. So thank you for being with me. So to get started, we've made some major changes at the Dig Agency. We have gone old school. The band is getting back together. We are refurbishing how we approach and recruit agents. and have have come to the conclusion on some ways that we were doing the business recruiting was not the optimal direction, nor was it really as a business that I wanted to run was heading in the direction that I desired. So in short, what's changed? So we have suspended for free leads the recruitment of free lead agents. And we will re-roll that out probably in the first quarter after we rehab some things internally. And I'll talk to you more about how we're going to recruit agents towards the free lead model. But in the meantime, what we have done is rolled back out the old-fashioned way of recruiting agents into a broker-based model where you own your book of business, you get the renewals, you pay for the leads, but you maximize your commissions. You have access to leads at cost with no markup, lead financing, the dialer and CRM system that are just amazing to use at the Dig Agency. It's just incredible. And now we're leading our recruiting efforts in that direction as opposed to the free leads direction. So the first question, of course, is okay, so why have you changed the strategy? Several reasons. And this has been something I've thought of and contemplated for a long time. And a lot of it just comes down to ultimately the way I wanted to run my business. In my mind, is always I wanted to be the best at it. I wanted to be best, not just in the content. Of course, my content's the best. Ashley was pretty good too, by the way. Pretty close. But in all seriousness, I wanted to be the best, not just in the content, but in onboarding, training, the leads that we have, the training, the support. It's not a promise that everybody's going to be successful, but I always wanted to give everybody the best that we could. And I felt like, and what I've learned is through the free leads model, that if that's what you lead with, unfortunately, you can't do that. And I think the only way to make a business like that viable, after looking at the numbers for the several years that we did free leads for 2 years, we would have to turn into something that I wasn't interested in. And chiefly that was more of a model like North Star does, Peter Roberts does, as well as Digital BGA with their LOA model, which is a wage plus bonus, low wage plus low bonus type of strategy. And the problem with those models is that the thing that you need to sustain those in the way that we recruit is by design unsustainable. I did it. Here's what I mean. I did a survey about a month and a half ago, and I asked my agents, I said, hey, where do you see yourself in this business? Do you see yourself being a free leads agent like indefinitely? Or do you see yourself as a broker agent, like wanting to move to an agent, buying leads, higher commissions, et cetera? And long story short, 70% of those agents in an anonymous survey said, want to move to a broker. They want to become a broker. And when you run a sales organization, anybody will tell you, it's the top producers that are the ones that are responsible for your profitability, especially in one where you're carrying the cost, like in a free lead program, right? You're carrying the cost of the leads. It's very significant operational cost, et cetera. And so if you're top talent, I don't blame them. If they're looking for the door because they feel like they can do better elsewhere, what is the compelling reason you're going to give them to stay around if they really feel they can do better? And so to me, on that level, if I can't keep top talent, it's very difficult to justify the business model. So that's one reason. The other reason is that looking at the cost structure of the business model, I think it really is only sustainable on a traditional employment-based opportunity, wage plus bonus. And we historically have done it we started with agents vested at low commissions, then we changed to LOA to kind of address some of those issues. But even still, the problem persists. To control the costs that are associated with the business, you really have to drive to that type of model. There's a reason why the ones who've been doing it successful have been doing it that way. I resisted because I want my agents to have a really fair deal. But unfortunately, the economics of the free lead system doesn't allow that, at least in my experience. And so all of these issues together have really brought me to the point of realizing like the long-term sustainability of this business, of doing free leads where I'd have to hire W-2s, get into a mid-sized business model with added bureaucracy. I don't want that. I mean, you see me in my videos. I'm the dude in the Hawaiian shirt. All right. Like I'm not a corporate guy. I mean, I got my suit on and stuff. This is very serious conversation. But in all seriousness, I didn't want that. And so I didn't want to spend the next couple of years figuring that out too. So it led me to the decision to really pull the plug on the way we're doing free lead generate or free lead recruiting agents to free leads and get back to the fundamentals and get back to being the best, which to me, in my mind, is providing the best platform for the people that want to perform at the highest levels possible, that can get the highest commissions, that have the best technology, but not just that, have the best onboarding support, the best training, the best assistance, and to really be loved on across the board. We needed our agents to get more love, if you know what I mean. And I hope you do. It's not that kind of love, but the good kind of love that you'd expect from a partner. Okay, you get the point. So back to being the best is what the tagline here at the Dig Agency is. The band is getting back together, like I told a friend of mine in the business not too long ago. So we're getting back to recruiting brokers. If you want to see how all of that works, I'm happy to explain in the chat more. You can go to my website, daviddeford.com, watch the video, opt in below, and then we've got a bunch of explanatory videos that will explain to you the differences, what's required, et cetera. A couple other really cool things real quick, though. And the results have been, the feedback's been outstanding. I'd say 90% of my big producers are moving over to broker. A lot of my free leads agents are moving over to the broker because they see the opportunity. And it's just been very, very good. So the last thing I'll mention, a couple of other cool things. I didn't say we're getting rid of free leads. I'm saying how we're branding it. And doing the internal survey and rehabbing some ways to make it more functional. We're going to roll out in January a new free lead agent model that you can join. But the way we're going to pitch it and sell it is going to be more along the lines of the reality that we live in, which is agents want to be a broker and buy leads and all that stuff, which is fine. So it's going to be more like a Kickstart program, free leads for a set period of time, 90 to 180 days is what I'm thinking. Again, this is all in my head. There's a lot going on right now, so we'll formulate it and announce it here soon. But the idea is to, for those people who don't want to invest the requirement and maybe start off with a little less risk, to start in a very modulated way to get the requisite experience, competence, and confidence so that in a period of time, they can be ready to take the leap, where that is what is assumed to start from, as opposed to what we were doing before, which is you end here at free leads. But no, the truth is free lead programs are stepping stones to being a broker and above and beyond that too. So more on that soon. So if you like the idea of free leads, we'll have more about that and the brokering program for sure. I imagine the free lead program will be kind of like a second option to the primary option, just jumping in as a broker. Now, the last thing I'll mention here is that we are in the process of testing out an annuity, IUL, and term marketing-based sales and marketing model. And we're going to be in the next 1 to 2 quarters, so first half of the year, rolling out a recruiting model to where you can come sell these products, targeting a mass market type of approach, as well as an advanced market, like think people with more money. The initial results right now with the agents we're working on are very promising. We've actually got more annuity opportunities in IULs off of the small leads that we're working. One agent got into a pipeline of $200,000 to $300,000 annuity off of his first 20 IUL leads. So pretty exciting. So, but we're in the testing phase for sure. And it's been very promising, but we're still working on that. That is definitely coming. That's a big push in the direction I want to go. So please continue to open all of my millions of emails I send you, and I'll be happy to build you or send you more information as we go along. So if you have questions about any of that, anything I just mentioned, the shift in how we recruit, where free leads is going, the new systems, the IUL annuity term system we're testing out, and throw them in the chat now. I'm going to kind of address those questions now. And then we're going to talk about Dana Neeson and one of her opinions on sales. That I'll save it for you here in a minute. Okay, let's check the chat here. Hey, Cindy, I'm in Chattanooga. What's the best age group to target final expense? The older, the better. Imagine Mildred, Ebony, Florence. These people are like, well, maybe they're a little old, but they'll buy. People, seriously, though, I would say 50 to 85, generally speaking, but 60s to 70s is a sweet spot for sure. Okay, let's keep going here. Can the broker, hey, Queen, can the broker still build a team? Yes. So, again, millions of things going on with this transition. One of the things we're going to get to is building out the recruitment model. We're not turning into an MLM or pyramid scheme, y'all. But some people want to recruit, and there's a way to do this. In short, we're kind of like a franchise model. You just send them to us. We'll do all the work. We just need people to find people. So we'll talk more about that at a future date. But yes, that will be there too. That's how it is, Ashley. 100%. The Pareto Principal. All right. Can a broker still build a team? Yep, yep, yep. What are the total fees per month and during entry regarding your new program? So we have a dig systems fee that covers, and this is really important to understand. It's business. It's the business in the box. It gets your access to the CRM we've carefully built the last couple of years for final expense, eventually for other life insurance like IUL, et cetera. Also, our Convoso dialer, which is just money. It is the best single dialer that's out there. It blows the pants off of, well, I won't say the other ones, but every other one that's out there that's branded as retail. You can't get it either unless you have a call center of 20 people. It also gets you the lead management fee so that you can get leads at cost from us. We don't mark up our leads. You get them at cost. They're great leads, the same exact leads we use in free leads. We know where to get them and how to get them at a good cost with good conversion. And then last but not least, our lead financing. So you can get leads with us without paying for them up front. So you get leads to make sales, to earn commissions, and then turn around and use the commission dollars to pay for the leads so that you don't dig into your own pocket for them. So that can be as low as $3.99 weekly for all of that. And it's a little bit more complex than that. I'll let some of my overviews explain that. But the idea is in exchange for that business in the box fee, you're going to save a substantial amount more money not having to spend retail on leads or fooling with lead management and the frustrations that may come with that kind of thing. Or some crappy dialer, which is not good either. All right. Okay. Wholesale price leads $15 to $18 a lead, but we're always actively trying to lower that as long as we have the commensurate level of what's the word I'm looking for? Conversion. We don't want to lower lead prices to lower the amount of sales that you get. That commonly happens. So that's roughly the range that they're in. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. I just moved from Dana's team to here. Thank you. I loved her team. I just ran out of lead spend because of a medical emergency. Sorry to hear that. Hope you're okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. What annuities also be? Yes, we will definitely, Joel, be on the annuity game. Jessica Fox is a longtime agent of mine. She is a $1 million roundtable producer in annuities. She started beating the streets in Vegas pre-COVID and literally selling final expense. And she actually sold a $1 million annuity to a final expense direct mail lead. And it was a pretty cool story. The guy threw her off his porch, and then she talked him into it, and the rest is history. So anyway, she migrated annuity sales over the last couple of years and has agreed to help agents who find annuities to help coach them, train them, how to deliver them, how to position and pitch them. She's excellent at what she does, highly ethical, very good person, long-time relationship with her, and she's in your corner to help you sell annuities. Okay. How long do free leads agents last with you? Well, that's the thing, Stone, right? Like all of this is brand new. So it really just depends. Like some people don't last long. Some people last a long time. It's hard to say because we really haven't pushed this well-developed broker approach until now. We've always had like a broker, like, yeah, you can go buy our own leads and we'll give you higher commission, but we haven't really built it out to the degree you have. So it's hard to answer that question. I do know this. If you're making, 20, 15, 20,000 a month in production and you start comparing and this is true for any free lead program, you look at the free lead commissions and then you look at the broker commissions, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be like, I can make a lot more money, not just on the front end, but on renewals if I just go do this and buy the leads. And the more you do the high level production, the more confident you get. And it just becomes a natural next step. So what you'll see is likely 70% of the people or more of the productive agents are going to want to do this. In other words, if you're good at this, you'll want to go broker. Hi, David. What have you found to be the best client signature method when doing a text code? Text code for sure. Stay away from email. Email is like, Chinese, and expecting an English speaking person to understand Chinese. So Mildred is still, dialing on her phone at home. She probably has a jitterbug. Although some of them, I mean, joking aside, they've got a smartphone, but asking them to do anything that requires several steps, like answering an email, clicking a button, filling stuff out, is asking for people to, you know, lose the deal. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Ashley, talk to Jess. She's very good. I don't need them for the free lead the broker program, um, but we are beta testing people on the IUL annuities and term leads. If y'all want to, I'm not saying I'll do this, but if you actually know what you're doing in that regards and you want to test these out, they're really good. Let me know. We can work something out. Okay. I work W-2. Yeah, reasonable time period to transition full time. Let's save that for later if you don't mind. When we kind of get to the generic questions, I'm trying to answer this stuff, but that's a good question. Very good question. 6 to 12 months. Short answer. I can go into a more elaborate story time with me because I was exactly in that same position. Okay. Is a replay of Jessica's annuity intro? I'm not sure what that is, Randall. Is that her training? Probably not. I don't think we record it. Do I have to change broker? Can I start without it and still get free leads? Do I have to change broker? No. No, you can for the time being, if you're with us, you can stick with free leads. You don't have to make a broker change. You don't have to change the broker, but the new model is going to be we're getting you to broker because we want you to be successful. We're going to give you everything to be successful. We're going to give you this ramp up period on free leads, but you got to wrap your head around that the money's really in brokering. It's not staying here. It's just not going to. And you will want to do what we're saying if you're successful because you'll just do the math like every human being does with, an IQ above 70. Okay. So with that said, I want to switch some gears here and talk about this piece of content that when I was wasting time on Facebook, as you do, I came across Dana's feed and she had a short. And Dana Nisa, by the way, excellent final expense trainer. She is with Lasting Mark. I forget Empower Group is her group. I've done some training with her and spent some time with her. Great person, very good, knows what she's doing. And she had a short here that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to give you my commentary on it. Now, like a couple of things here, okay? Just as a YouTube creator, I just want you to know some things. Number one, like the content you see, not this is live. It's just coming from the heart. It's not edited, clipped, changed up, okay? But some content is. So I know by you watching this, you're not going to get the full context, okay? By you watching this video you're about to watch, it's kind of part of the story, all right? So there's probably more to what Dana has to say about this strategy than what is led on in this video. It's the nature of short form content. It lacked context, okay? But I think it's interesting because the way I'm going to react to this is I think teaching you a fundamental reality about final expense prospects, leads, the people we sell to, and remembering some fundamentally important aspects of it so you don't, I think, make the possible mistake, because again, there's probably more to this than what is being led on in this video. So my goal here isn't so much to critique Dana as it is to teach you a valuable lesson to remember, because the underpinnings of final expense, and I want you to listen very closely, the underpinnings of final expense, selling the product, can be very dangerous if you do things without much forethought. It is a simple product, but it is not easy. It's not easy. You can fail if you make bad decisions. All of this will make sense in a moment. So what I'm going to do here is switch the screen here, and we're going to.
There is nowhere in my script that asks for a budget. And I know that's maybe a little controversial because there are other trainers and other people that specifically say, do you have a budget between 40 and 80? You are a weaker salesperson if you are selling based on a stated budget, not based on somebody's needs.
Negative or bad or wrong. Figuring out what somebody needs, pretty good sales, right? And if you can attach their need to how your product solves it, and you can demonstrate that not solving the need is a higher cost than what you would afford to pay for it, we can all agree here, if you've sold anything, it's a pretty good strategy. So, what's my problem? What's the problem with this strategy? Let me tell you what I particularly don't like about it. I want you, and please understand what I'm about to say is pragmatic. I'm an optimist, but I'm also pragmatic. And we live in the real world, and we have to be aware of who we're selling, their circumstances, and the reality of the people. Okay. I want you to picture Mildred, your final expense prospect. She's 70 years old, 65, 70, 70, whatever. Typically, imagine her. She's wearing her hair curlers, her see-through muumuu. Don't imagine that. Imagine the rest of it. What kind of person waits to 65, 70, 75 to plan for their final expenses? Is it somebody that is financially intelligent? No. No. Unfortunately, the reality of selling final expense, why I like it, why I love the people that we absolutely help, is that our clients are stupid with their money. They ain't very good. That's why they're 75 looking for a burial plan. Now, I know not all, but most. All right. A lot of them are just not that good with money. And my point, and everybody, and let me preface this. Everybody who sold final expense 6 months to 12 months, guess what y'all have experienced? You wake up one morning, you thought you were going to have a good day, and you get your emails, and shit, it's a chargeback. And you thought that chargeback somebody you thought was going to keep it. And you get more, and it happens. And here's my point. Our clients are not typical people. They're final expense people. It's a different market. A lot of people, Dana understands it, but a lot of people don't understand final expense until you've lived it and you've seen it. Like you've literally been in the houses of your people and you've seen them in the flesh. And when you do that long enough, the thing that pops into your head is, crap, I'm not the first agent that sold this person a policy. I hope I'm the last, but I want to make sure I'm the last. And so there's this preventative, defensive nature to sell a policy that not only they take, but guess what's most important? The policy that pays is the policy that stays. In other words, I want to sell my client a policy they're going to keep. And so for me, while I agree with what Dana's saying here, and if I'm wrong, you tell me. I'm 100% fine being told wrong. And I'm not saying her methodology doesn't work. It does work. I'm sure it does. But for me, and this is what I teach agents, is that we want to reduce the realities of chargebacks. Chargebacks are not a what if, they're a will be. But to the extent that they're large or small, does depend on what products you sell, meaning you shop around to find the best product for your client, as well as how you sell it. And while I am concerned, and I agree with Dan, about the need and meeting the need, what I'm also concerned is making sure your ass ain't getting charged back. You know what I mean? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, do this about 3 to 6 months. It sucks. Okay. So, how does this actually look? How does this actually look in its application? So, for me, the big thing is doing a budget, not because I'm a weak salesperson. I do the budget because our clients aren't smart with money. And I'm going to assume they're not. And hopefully I'm going to be wrong and they'll keep their policy and everything's great. Now, what selling with the budget doesn't mean is that you start low, like at $20 or $30 a month. You actually can start high and you work it down to a level that they 100% say they can afford. Now, the other aspect of this is that we ask the budget in the script well before we entice the client with all the perks and benefits and features and all that stuff that gets our clients real excited about buying a burial insurance policy and may make a decision in haste and bite off too much. So we ask it positionally before we start to even explain the policy, how it works, what the details are, why it's better than the other options like term and the junk mail stuff that they get, because we want to ask them in a state where they're not emotionally committed to this idea. Okay. And I can't stress how important that is to you, because if you talk first about some budget that they feel and have confidence in that works before you start to sell how great it is, you're likely working with more of a realistic number that they can just forget about and not bother them. Because what you don't want have happen, what you don't want to have happen is in 6 months when there's a financial issue, they go looking at their statements and say, "Hey, that's too expensive. I should have never bought that," and then they drop it, and then you end up getting a chargeback. Okay. So with that said, I mean, I otherwise totally agree with what Dana's saying. You should sell to the need. If somebody says they want a burial, I'm going to try to get them enough coverage to do a burial. But what I won't do is sell the need of protecting for inflation by doubling the policy size if the client can't afford it. Okay. So need is out the door when budget is an issue. And that's the moral of the story. Not out the door. It's just not something that I'm making my stand on. I'm making my stand on what they need is what they can afford, because that's the nature of final expense. Now, if you take me into any other life insurance product, I'll drop this bit. I'm not married to this concept as a sales concept unless you're selling final expense, because the nature of chargebacks are ultimately a drag on your performance. It's frustrating. It will affect how you approach the business, how you sell. And if you start loading up people with a product they need at a price they can't afford, you're screwed in the long term. And the graveyard of otherwise successful final expense agents that failed all had this problem. They were too good at selling. They were too good at building the need. So anyways, what do you think? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate you letting me do this, and thanks for putting the video out. Okay, let's see what the chat says about this. Hopefully, y'all get my drift here. All right. So, yeah, sell budget, 100%. All right. Yeah, but is the audio on? I sure hope it is. Okay, good. The audio is on, right? When I have the best training of my life is when the audio fails. That's how it always is. It's like a meme here. So you did hear all that, right? I hope so. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it really just comes down to a preventative effort to make sure that our clients keep what they buy. And it doesn't negate the reality of selling to need. It just is, it's a preventative buffer. And this is born out of years of experience, personal production myself, as well as recruiting agents. And this is one of those instances where, you know, the final expense market is unique in some sense. And that's the thing about this business too, y'all, is that the the nature of selling life insurance, when you get paid, it's not your money until 9 months have passed. And so everything you write, if Mildred for the next 270 days gets up and cancels, you're at risk. So, okay, hopefully that makes sense. All right. Okay. Wait, my audio is off. Damn it. All right. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Okay. Hey, you have to. You said I have to start now by selling FE because existing agents will be given the first opportunity to sell IUL annuities, but I don't want to sell FE. Yeah, we're still looking towards probably, I don't know, first quarter next year. Yes, y'all can live in Tennessee. All right. Questions. So we can open it up to your questions now. I'll be happy to answer your questions as it relates to selling anything life insurance or marketing life insurance. And oh, it went off. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know why that was. Oh, you know why? Okay. That's okay. We put the video down, so I didn't talk too much. So you got the gist of it. I hope so. So Dig says it's not about, well, Rich says it's not about wants, and that is an agent of ours. Checks in the mail, Rich. It's about needs, and often needs are more than their budget. Yeah. It's like selling their needs, sort of, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I do think there's something to that, lady. That's part of it too. Is if you talk about budget to a budget conscious group of people, especially budget conscious, it's a form of rapport and trust building. And it kind of establishes that concern they all have. It's not wrong to not do that necessarily, but I don't think it necessarily is weak or makes you worse agent. And again, here's the thing too, like I'd be interested to see what Dana's average on AP is. We over the last 9,000 sales we did over the last 2 years, our average AP is 954, and this is off of Facebook leads. So 950, so about $80 a month. That's pretty good, right? To give you perspective, when I was doing this, I was doing an average of 45, $50 a month. Okay, as an agent producing face to face using direct mail leads. So pretty good. No, you should avoid the no. Don't avoid the free 3 option close. What we do, Norseman, is we take the 3 option close, but assign it to their budget. We'll even stretch outside of the budget too. Again, I'm not so much concerned about stretching for a higher amount, but I want to establish before we sell too hard what their gut instinct is and what their budget is. So we collect the budget early, but then when we go to close, we show a good, better, best option. Here's the low end of the budget, the high end of the budget, and then one interval above it. So if Mildred says to me, yeah, I can afford 80 to 100 bucks a month, but I say that with complete and utter certainty, then when we go to close after we build value and sell why they should do business with us a little longer, we'll say, hey, here's one option for 80, here's a second for 100, and here's one. Some people want to see this, so we show it. It's $120 a month. My recommendation is pick the one that fits your budget best. The policy that stays is a policy that pays your beneficiary, right? So which one do you want to start with today? So that closes money, but we base that close not off an arbitrary amount that we just make up. We base that close off of what their budget actually is, based on what they said earlier. Because now we know we don't have to deal with the price issue because they told us what the price was that they can afford, and we will attempt to stretch it. So there's ways to make the budget work. The other strategy we use, we start high and go low. So I like using a price anchor. So we say something along the lines of, as we look for the budget, we say, oh yeah, oh, here's a price. It's $400 a month. You probably wouldn't want to pay that much, right? It's pretty expensive. So we now make the price relative. And then we go to say, hey, if I can find you a policy that you could afford somewhere between 150, 200 a month of work, that sounds less expensive than the $400 policy. So there's some things that we do within the context of the budget scripting that makes it sales intelligent. And if they say no to that, we don't argue them on the budget. We just go down an interval. We say, hey, no problem. That retains the rapport we built. And we say, hey, if I could find you another plan, how about 100 to 125 a month? You know, and we'll go down to $10 to $20 a month. I don't care. I just want to improve or approve my client for coverage for whatever amount they can afford. I'd rather them have something than nothing, right? But we strategically do the budget script in a way that's going to improve our odds of success, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I know, Ron. It's amazing. The stuff that you missed when I was muted was incredible. How does scheduling with the dialer you use work? Do you have to stay on the dialer for 8+ hours a day and to be most effective? No, you can come on and go when you want. Of course, the more the merrier. This is a time on task profession. Our leads preset appointments to a certain degree, so you can just apply your calendar. Some of them will book, not all of them. You're definitely going to have to call through the leads. but you can just do it whenever you want. I would say the most busiest time of day to be on the dialer is between 10 and 4. That's what our stats show. Nighttime is great, but a lot of agents don't work it. Weekends are great, but a lot of agents don't work. And guess what I'm going to tell you? Do what the other guys won't do. Get on late a couple of nights a week. Work then. I assure you, most of your seniors are home and will pick up the phone more often in the middle of the day when they're at dialysis or getting, their grocery shopping done. And then the weekends are beautiful because nobody's calling. Everybody's having fun with their family. I mean, of course, you should have fun with your family. But if you don't have a family or you're young and you're putting your foundations in life, you should be working the weekends. I did for years. Saturdays specifically, not Sundays. So those are great days to sell because usually few others aren't. Yes, thank you, lady. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, Timothy, get me a reply back to me on that, on the joining fee question. I'll get back to you. All right. If a new agent starts on a broker plan, has 50 leads in dialer, will dialer repeatedly keep calling all 50 leads? Yes, up to a limit, Goy. You can't call beyond 9 calls a day in most states, 3 in Florida. We don't work Florida because of that. It's just stupid. Don't work Florida. I gave away one of my biggest secrets. Florida's the worst state to work. You heard it from me first. It's the worst state. You maybe even think I'm kidding because isn't Florida isn't that where the villages are and it's full of old people? The average age is like 75. Yeah, yeah. Everybody knows that. Maybe you think I'm joking. Maybe I am. I don't know. But then maybe I'm not. So don't work Florida, or should you? I don't know. But yes, you should. Yeah. So our dialer does all the work for you. It'll stop dialing, so it can retain its TCPA compliance automatically. And then that's why our agents can work free leads, our aged leads list freely at full commission, by the way, and that are buying leads as a broker, and our orphan client list. This is 8,000 or so clients that probably 6 to 8. I don't know what the exact number is. It's thousands and thousands of clients that bought over the last 2 years that don't have an active agent. They're money. They're really good clients, really good leads. And you can work those in with those other leads after those get called all the way through. If a new agent starts on a broker plan, has 50 leads in the oh yeah, we already did that one. Would you talk about how you quote from the products to come up with the lowest prices? Yeah, I mean, in general, what we do is we use insurance toolkits. Pretty much what we do. We assign the specific carriers that we do inside of it, and then we just put all the underwriting information after we talk to the client, and then pull what is the cheapest, if that's what we're trying to accomplish. Sometimes it's not the cheapest we pull. We'll sell value, like with American Amicable's Platinum product or Transamerica's FE Express. These have the Everest Funeral Concierge program, which is a nice little add-on to help control the actual cost of the funeral. So, but it really just, we use that. That is the tool we really use for underwriting and pricing. It's really good. It's $35 a month. InsuranceToolkits.com. I'm not paid this time to endorse them, although sometimes I am. I should hit them up for money. That's good, Ashley. Yeah, Ashley is at $100 a month. That's pretty sick selling on budget, same way we do. All right. All right. Cool. Questions? Yeah, that is very good. That's very good. I'll tell you this, there are certain states that have better annual premium sizes than others. So certain states that you'll target, just buy bigger and better. I'm not going to tell you that. You got to join Dig Agency to get that. But we've tried to test out different strategies to get that premium size higher. I don't think we can get much higher than 1,000, 1,050. With the different carrier, the different state selection is still kind of out, if that really is the case. We've seen some anomalies, but I don't think I would say for sure these states absolutely pay us 100 more on average. There are different lead types that can be more productive. We were testing out in the free leads program some postcard call-in leads. Those convert. No, those really didn't convert very well at all. And they were trash. They were really trash. And but the premium sizes are like $700 just like much lower than just plain old Facebook leads. Facebook is the money. That's where you should be. Everybody should be selling final expense with us or anybody else. Oh, slam that like button, by the way. You should have slammed it 5, 10, 15 times by now with the amount of knowledge that I've dropped on you that you can't find anywhere else. That tells YouTube that our content is obviously the best. And you're just confirming what I know and what everybody else here knows. So thank you. Orphan clients. No, we're not trying to specifically replace policies. We're trying to help clients who bought from us. So sometimes we replace policies if it actually is better, like if their health has changed and it is measurably a better decision, we will suggest it. But one of the things in training is like, we don't do it if it's unethical. But what we do many times is just simply add more coverage. And that's the thing. I notice anecdotally when I was out in the field seeing Mildred face to face in the wild, half of my sales, I did 1,500 or so personal sales in the years I was selling. Half of them, they already owned insurance. And so I was thinking, like, where is the agent that sold this? They could have sold him another one if they would just have bothered to call him again. But, and so it's like, hey, I'm sitting on 8,000, 6, 7, 8,000 clients. What if we can sell 1,000 clients and we've already paid the marketing costs? Pretty cool, right? So that's the idea there. All right. Thank you for slamming the like button. Thank you, Ashley. Please confirm what systems are in the monthly systems cost. Not the insurance toolkit. Yes, in CRM. Yes, dialer. Randall, go to daviddufour.com. Watch the overview video. I try not to pitch you guys. You don't like being pitched. You love to buy, but you don't like to be sold. But if you go to daviddufour.com, I will sell you in recording version. And then when you follow the directions on the video, you'll see where you can set up a one-on-one call and we can talk at length about how wonderful what we do is and how it just beats the pants off everybody else. But yes, Randall, the insurance toolkits doesn't come for free. You got to buy that. It's $35 a month. It's worth it. Hey, Jay, is the new free leads program locked in? Locked in to begin in January? No, not locked in. I would say it's somewhere between the drawing board and locked in. Like the shackles are in place, but the key has not been firmly secured and locked. So I'm thinking January is going to be the announcement date and rollout date, but we'll see. You have to understand, if you've been inside the Slack with us and how much things have changed in the past couple of weeks, I mean, like night and day. Dave Duford, I have worked more than I probably have in years. And I've just been just total rehab of everything from start to finish. Everything's changed. And so I've been super busy. And it's one thing at a time here. And once we get this final step with the launch of the broker program, then next week I'm going to sit down and start using my brain to think of other things like the free lead launch date and some of the specifics. Thank you, Randall. Of course you're sold. Of course you're sold. Of course you're sold. All right. All right. What else, y'all? Oh, hey, Goyard. Are you considering not doing? Yeah, well, so now with brokering, you should absolutely do guaranteed issue because it pays you well. The only way we can make it sensible in the free lead program is to not pay well on it. I mean, I've been very open about that. To the extent that I've told people, just forget the guaranteed issue. Let somebody else sell it. You sell level. It pays you more. But at this point, it's one of those things I don't want to sell, but you kind of have to sell in order to maximize the profit. And I think that is true for most brokers too. There are some people that won't sell it. But I think with AIG, you're fine. You should sell it. Absolutely, if you're getting started. It's money in the bank. And but don't sell it if you can sell something else that's better quality, which is a lot of different products. Hey Tim, I'm sorry I didn't hear your answer. I joined free lead 2 weeks ago. What does this change? Nothing. We are free leads all the way. Keep doing what you're doing if that's where you want to stay. If you want to go to the brokering program, we can facilitate that. But do this. This isn't the avenue to have this conversation. Just message me directly so I can take care of you personally. So if you've got questions about this, you're concerned, completely fine. Send me a message. I know you get all my emails. Just reply to an email or in Slack message me. Just communicate with me and kind of let me know where you're at. We can set up a call. I'll send you a lengthy video explanation, anything. So just do it that way, and I'll definitely help you. Oh, Joel, you're not sold yet? Is that what you're trying to say? What can I do to sell you? Do you want me to show you my car? I can show. I got my fancy watch on. Does that sell you? I got my beautiful wife in the other room. How about this? This will sell you. Check this out, y'all. This is my festive Halloween pumpkin. Compliments of my 7-year-old daughter, Boo, and then she loves Hello Kitty. I love Hello Kitty too. So you're putting shoes on my daughter's feet when you join Dig Agency. All right. If that doesn't work, we're going to use the Colt 45 close. You don't want me to explain that. Okay. Thanks, Dave. Great advice on getting budget first and presenting through. Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it, Reinhold. I'm letting Dave come back out. Dave is out of the midlife crisis closet. I'm not having a midlife crisis. The only crisis I'm having, if I'm to be honest, is the loss of my hair. I hate losing hair. I refuse to get plugs. I refuse to get the butt hair moved to your head and all that stuff. What did they do? Is that what they do? Actually, I think they go back here and they take a line out of it and put it up here. I don't want to fly to Turkey for that. I'll fly to Turkey for baklava. I'm sure that's good, but no. I just wish I could have my hair back. All right. All right, final questions here before we wrap it up. Happy to help with anything life insurance and sales related. I really appreciate you guys being on the call today. It's been a great time. I've really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. Thanks, Ashley. Oh, you like red light therapy, like the red light therapy hat? I'm just going to color my hair off. It's going to be bald. My wife says my forehead's too big, though. So, got to make her happy. No, that's impossible. Dave, I forgot if you said the new free lead program agents have to pay for this. Yeah, no, not in its current form. Possibly in the new form starting in January. I love my wife. Just kidding. No, not about that. Just about the making her happy. I'm absolutely glad you're back at the broker model. Thank you, Jenna. I've been wanting to come on board, but couldn't do less. Yeah, I certainly understand. More lives, David, for sure. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, last call for questions. Again, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, lady. Appreciate you. Thanks, Dan. I'm going back to see all his other posts and questions I missed. Sorry if I missed them. I was on a rant today. All right. It's your call, KFP. If you really want to do the free lead program and you really don't want to get into the brokering, wait. I would say for sure wait. If you want to get in brokering, let's go. But yeah, if you want to wait to buy leads or start with free leads, yeah, at this point you kind of have to. Hey, Shirley. Oh, I don't know. It could be a couple thousand a month to 7,000 a month. It just depends on how many leads you buy, how much you work. If you go to daviddufour.com, we kind of lay it all out there. We've got some cool resource guides like an income calculator. I need to do a video on the income calculator. That's a cool little tool because it helps answer some of these questions like, why would I spend all this money to make all this money? Well, hopefully that answers itself, but sometimes you just need to kind of see the math behind it. So I'm going to make a note here. And I'm going to make some content. It's that time of year when the content starts to dry up, guys. So anything works. Oh, yeah. If you like Joel, want you one-on-one, go to daviddufour.com, watch the overview video. You'll see where you can get the resource guide. And then we do one-on-ones. We can absolutely do one-on-ones and help you answer questions. All right. What did I just say? Income calculator. Yes. So yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks for the idea. I appreciate it. This is staying on YouTube. Okay, cool, Stephen. Appreciate it. The new model starts now if you want to do brokering. So I would get it now. Of course I would tell you to get it now. Why would you wait? Did you tape it all? Yes, we did. Yeah, you can come back. Just come back to the same exact link and watch it again. You'll see the whole thing. All right. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be around. And again, if you want to join the Dig Agency, what are you waiting on? Do it already. Go to davidduford.com. It's my name, davidduford.com. Watch the video, opt in, and see what it's all about. You're going to see tons of testimonials, case studies of people from all walks of life who just started, who've been there for years, be successful. Where else are you going to find that? What is holding you up? Just do it. Do it. All right. Have a good one.